happen to be listening, welcome to the kickoff, a presentation of the WQM Network available online at WQMnet.com. It's not a just a stream for your podcast device. I am not Harry Broadhurst. I am the DSDO, the Anchorman, the classic WQM Eric Watkins. What? Look who's here!
Hi, everybody. I am the voice of reason, allegedly. My name is Harry Broadhurst, and I am traditionally your host on this here shindig. However, I am just getting over a pretty gnarly infection of some kind. I'm pretty sure it was sinus because it knocked me on my ass. So instead, Eric is going to handle hosting duties tonight, so I don't have to talk as much as I normally would have to.
I mean, naturally, but as I already promised, there's no guarantee whatsoever that things will be kept on the rails. Luckily, we also happen to have the locksmith herself, the one, the only, Keneddi Eddings.
Happy to be involved again.
Eric, she looks familiar. I can't place it.
I mean, I did have something here. Wait. I gotta do this justice. Now, for those of you, let me put this on the screen so that way
we need a consensus for this year.
I completely agree.
Sure.
Having this,
sure. I don't.
I mean, for those. I see a resemblance.
I mean, I could see it, kind of.
No.
The hair's longer. The chest is smaller, I think. I've never gotten a close-up visual of the other one.
We will need Colby to help confirm that bit for us.
The thighs are that level, and we have confirmation on that. You posted the weightlifting videos.
I don't know what's happening. Who is that?
That is Gianna Michaels, adult film star.
Oh, hell yeah.
And one of our listeners happens to think that you resemble her.
And let me tell you something. As a man who has delved into quite a few depths in the adult film industry, he has good taste. And again, I see the resemblance.
He's not entirely wrong.
I assumed that's who she was, but well, thank you.
That one was for you, Fonty. All right, Eric, let's kick off this shindig properly. Gianna and I have to be up early. Giggity.
And we've already got the comment from Fonty. Yes, it was you. It was you all along.
That's a wrestling reference and a damn appropriate one.
Well, I mean, as a man said, it do be facts, though.
It do be facts, though. Hey, Eric, let's start with studs and duds.
So, shall I be going first as host, or shall I save myself for last?
Host usually goes last on studs and duds, so you can pick one of us to start.
Well, since we've already got our everything out of the way early, Ken, you're stud.
It was. I'm so bad at this. It was Waddle.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He just went on. He's been having like a meh season. And I had to start him in my fantasy this week. And I am really lucky I did because he pulled through for me. But he absolutely just went off. And I'm hoping he can keep, because I love him. I have a soft spot for him. I'm just hoping he can keep that going forward.
I wonder why.
No idea.
One of those great mysteries of life, don't you think, Harry?
Mm-hmm.
War goddamn eagle. I saw that.
Well, I mean, she rolled her eyes, but you can't quite do that as effectively when you're not number one in the rankings. So,
10 catches for 70 yards with a long of 14. However, inside of those 10 catches for 70 yards were 2 touchdowns. In a traditional half-point fantasy league for PPR, that equates to 7, 12, 18, 24
It was
points.
21. I thought it was 21, but whatever. Regardless, I'm really bad at the fit. I'm really fair. I'm really bad at adding them up. But no, he went off finally for like his standard. He went off, and it made me happy to see him actually bring something to the table this week.
The result of that game made somebody else happy. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. I guess I'm up, aren't I?
Yep, you're up. Who's your stud, Harry?
All right, I got two names that are going to mean absolutely nothing to either of you. Abram Smith.
Okay, that actually does mean something to me if you go back to our college predictions.
Running back, Baylor. As the Bears hosted the 19th ranked BYU Cougars in Waco, Texas, and proceeded to smack them around. Abram Smith specifically for 188 yards on 27 carries with 3 touchdowns. BYU scored 24 points. Abram Smith, if you count the extra points converted, scored 21. Baylor themselves scored, I think, 38 in a 38-24 victory over the now unranked BYU Cougars.
Welcome to the Big 12, BYU.
Mr. Smith goes to Waco and puts up a pretty good performance.
Really? Okay, so this is how we're going to start things. All right. Well, staying in Big 12 country, my stud. Now, the University of Oklahoma has had a very long and storied history. And especially in recent decades, they've had a very long and storied history with their quarterbacks. Nara One has come out in their first ever start and accounted for 4 touchdown passes and a touchdown run. Until Saturday, because Caleb Williams did just that against TCU. Even though this happens to ruin one of my potential parlays as far as with the Heisman, hey, Oklahoma's still going to boomer and sooner all over the place.
Caleb Williams, you say?
I think I have that right.
Are you sure it wasn't Spencer?
I am double.
It's Caleb Williams. I'm busting your stones over originally putting Spencer in the document because their former starting quarterback is Spencer Rattler, who's now about to enter the Dr. Pepper transfer portal.
Well, I mean, hey, as long as he's got Dr. Pepper, he'll be welcome at State or Tech even. You never know.
They don't drink Dr. Pepper at Tech. That's why they're so unappreciated.
Yeah, fair point.
Although he would be a better starter for them than DJ Uiagalelei this year.
Only so many Hawaiians can perform well. What can we say?
Duds.
So, flipping the script. Keneddi, you're dud for the week.
Baker Mayfield. Pussy. That's all I got.
I mean, okay, not everybody can go out there and play with a fully torn labrum in their shoulder.
Well,
partially
shouldn't
going into the game.
Tore your labrum. Well,
partially going into the game, fully tore it during the game.
And he said he's still going to play. I don't know.
Browns have officially confirmed that Case Keenum is the starter tomorrow night against the Broncos. Oh, that should take the opportunity to remind you all that we are recording this back in our normal time slot on Wednesday, so that way Eric can't sneak peek the college football predictions for his Are You Serious?
Not my fault that I had an advantage, baby. Blame Clemson.
Man, they suck this year.
I'm glad at least they do to make our suckiness look a lot better.
We'll pour one out for the homers a little bit later.
Yeah. I'm not going to be the only one with salt handy tonight, thankfully. But long before we head into that with our first deep tease of the night, Harry, you're dud.
With an honorary stud to the Boilermaker social media team, Iowa How'd that Penn State letdown treat you there, Hawkeyes? To quote the aforementioned Boilermaker, that would be Purdue for those of you wondering, social media team, we beat the number 2 out of Iowa. And beat the number 2 they did, as the Boilermakers went into Keneddi Stadium, a notoriously difficult place to play, and smacked Iowa around 24-7 in a game that was at no point that close. Completely dominated the Hawkeyes on their home turf. Purdue was incredibly up and down, but in this particular instance, they can bang the drum slowly. Fuck you, Notre Dame, as the Boilermakers are back in the win column.
See, for someone preserving their voice, is this why? Are we going to be getting an excessive amount of timely and clever puns for the most part?
It's a wonderful kind of day over here. What can I say?
When you walk right into one, like a glass door.
Hey, Eric.
Face, yes.
3 blondes walk into a bar. You'd think one of them would have seen it. Anyway, you're done.
Well, my dud, with another blowout loss, and one that really, really hurt, and that's going to come back to potentially bite them. Houston, you don't just have a problem, you've got a lot of problems. Texans, honestly, fuck was that? I mean, I get you've got Davis Mills, he's a rookie, Stanford, yada yada. Seriously, really, what the fuck was that?
Who's the former Penn State coach that was coaching Houston before?
Bill O'Brien?
Yeah. Ground control to Major Bill O'Brien. Help.
As long as you don't make him the GM and keep him as a coach, you're absolutely fine.
I mean, he did well enough at Penn State. Although I am pretty happy with James Franklin's overall performance.
No, true.
Last year aside, but let's be honest, 2020 was fucked up for everyone.
You know, you can say that again. And that, with a little bit of extra misery, concludes Studs and Duds. Now, we're talking about the different coaching shakeups and all things in that and everything with Houston. So, that happened.
Segue!
I have to nail it for you.
Yeah.
Hashtag phrasing? Anyways. So, Harry, we talked about a certain sort of extra revenge tour, and apparently there was a key moment on Sunday, one that inspired a t-shirt.
Once again, the Packers beat the Bears. Shocker. Not so surprising with the Packers' domination of the Bears is Aaron Rodgers performing well in said domination. That 38-3 loss to the Saints is all but a distant memory right now to Green Bay Packer Nation, as the Packer now 5-1 and sit very comfortably atop the NFC North. However, there was one specific part of this that I just couldn't help but indulge in. As the Aaron Rodgers Fuck You Tour Part 2 comes to Chicago, and Rodgers proceeds to tell the Bears fans, I still own you guys. Chill level, 0. Rodgers has no fucks left to give.
None. And it's brilliant. Always a good way to remind them one for the road. Yeah, even after I'm gone, I'm still going to own you. Just saying.
I mean, at this point, he may as well buy a stake in the franchise, so that way he can literally own them in addition to actually metaphorically doing so.
I mean, he signs that good contract, making that Jeopardy money. Sign them papers, you never know.
Kent, it might not be Tua time in Miami anymore.
I think that's stupid.
Eric, why don't you go ahead and
I
why don't you go ahead and inform everybody specifically what we're talking about as we pick Ken's news story for her?
Well,
Thank you.
as things have come up today, there were rumors saying that this story is false, rumors saying that this is true, rumors saying that the rumors that this is false, however you want to spin it. But as it's been very long standing, the Dolphins have had interest in Deshaun Watson. All of that interest is now culminating as for a unique maneuver. The prospect
What a maneuver?
a unique maneuver.
What a maneuver. It's a wrestling reference. Fonty, you'll get it.
So you have the prospect now of a 3-team trade where the Dolphins would get their guy in Deshaun Watson. Who's the third team, you wonder? Well, let's just say, while it wouldn't be Tua time in South Florida, Tua would become a football player. A Washington football player, as he would join the Washington football team. Lord, I have never seen you make that face before, Keneddi.
I think she's imagining all the ways this is going to go wrong for poor Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, I mean, considering as how they have Taylor Bud Lightick, he's still under center as he has been dubbed.
Well, yeah, because Fitz is hurt again.
Sadly.
Ken's, realistically speaking, assuming this all blows over, what's the ceiling for Deshaun Watson at this point in his NFL career?
I think if all of it blows over, all his shenanigans, I think he can do great things still. I think he can go back there and still, do great quarterback things. But I think it would be a waste to trade him and then trade like that whole fuckery that they're trying to do. Tua has potential. Maybe not like great, fantastic potential, but what if this shit with Watson doesn't get dropped? Like, there's just too many moving parts to this. And then, so say Watson does go to Florida, this shit follows you. Shit could happen in Florida, allegedly, not allegedly, whatever. Again, and then you sit there and you get rid of Tua, and now you have Deshaun Watson. And
hey! He will be in the AFC East. He can make phone calls to Robert Kraft and discuss the very high-quality massage parlors in South Florida. This could actually be a better thing for him.
One could argue that he could find a consensual masseuse for a change. Allegedly.
Fair. Allegedly. But I think it's a lot of risk for Florida versus what it would be worth.
Well, Miami specifically, yes.
Sorry, well, maybe Florida as a whole, but Miami.
Especially the masseuses in Florida.
Come on. We have had some great Florida men in our history. Thank you very much.
Really?
And nobody needs to kick Ryan Fitzpatrick off.
Eric's giving me the death glare for that Gardner Minshew reference. Hey, speaking of Wazoo, there's a story in and of itself that I decided to stay away from for this week. Just because I didn't want this episode to get kicked off of YouTube.
Nope. We haven't brought back Black Irish yet.
Nope. I'm moving forward.
We need to get on that.
Well, I heard a certain someone was also supposed to be working on a logo and things like that, so.
Oh, I thought you were looking at me for a second. I'm like, I can't draw for shit. All right, so
I will get back on that.
She's got Tua's time. I had Aaron Rodgers still owning the pack. That leaves you, Mr. Watkins.
Well, to put it bluntly, down on the bayou, somebody's O had to go. As it was announced that Ed Orgeron will be parting ways with LSU at the end of this season. Why am I getting the crossed arms from you, Harry? You know that was a nugget of brilliance.
You know what brilliance.
You know what the look is for. You're stepping on my homers, you son of a bitch.
Well, with something like this, again, yes, there were certain losses that had things to do with it. Yes, there were certain pictures, dalliances, questions about pregnant women and certain preferences and certain things going on, some proposals, if you will, that have come out and that were behind the scenes. Nevertheless,
Oh my God, Coach O is you.
maybe, I mean, holy shit, even down to the pregnancy fetish. But we'll talk about that later.
Family show.
So he
Literally
knew.
speaking of this, it's pregnancies. I legit popped Eric with that.
Oh,
Okay, while Eric takes a second to recover here. Yeah, I'm just gonna tease it for pour one out for the homers. Yeah, LSU finally played like a team that their coach is about to get fired. Or got fired.
well,
Is Pendantly fired?
yeah, think something like that. The old "don't call us, we'll call you." You got your notice kind of a firing situation.
You know what he is? He is a lame duck coach.
Indeed, and needless to say, that may or may not be a factor for me and a future segment of tonight's show.
Dramatic reverb.
Uh?
I'm still trying to get him to use belt as well. And if you get that reference, you're awesome, Ken.
I can't hear what the little things say, so I laugh out of the dog face because I didn't know if there was audio with it, so I don't know what we're talking about.
The dog face gives you the dun dun dun.
Okay. And what did you say?
I said I prefer the belt version, but never mind. Yeah, we're wasting time. Yep, Eric's pretty much got it right here. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I'll show you off air, Ken.
So, needless to say, there's going to be a new search and already some very prominent names potentially coming up. So, now there's going to be 2 Power 5 openings. Potentially, technically, however you want to spin it. Oh, the carousel begins already.
So, fun fact, because I know we're about to move on here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be down kind of Ken's line of hip hop admiration here. The original news story that I chose was actually the Mark Rolovich story. And then I realized that I didn't want to get us thrown off of you. Isn't it Mark Rolovich?
Nick Rolovich.
Whatever. The dude who got fired at Wazoo. The point being, the reason that I decided to go against it is because I didn't want this episode getting kicked off of YouTube for COVID-19 issues. However, what I was going to title the episode, the particular segment was "Rolo Out," like roll out.
Yeah.
That see, I would have given the monkey, but
too much build. Too much
yeah,
build.
That
not
was
enough
that
delivery.
you yeah.
It was just. It was an anti Gianna Michaels performance, Eric. Too much build, not enough finish.
You came in right, and then when the moment
let's not use the word "came" after a Gianna Michaels reference, shall we? Family show.
Look, all I'm saying is just like the scene on the back of the bus. Not really when it counts, but again, I digress.
Liz Puglisi's watching this as we're doing this live, right?
Hi, Liz.
We're sorry. Not really.
I promised. I said, hey, we might not have rails tonight. Just saying. But since we've got this going on, normally I would potentially have a question, but I don't. So that's going to be coming back next week.
You skipped a segment,
You've been
sir.
saying that for like 7 weeks.
Well, in fairness, this is only episode 7, so yeah, it has been 7 weeks. No, we skipped a week, so only 6. Remember, we had to take a week's vacation. Eric, stop, rewind. I'm a survivor. Before I've got a question.
Well, see, why don't you have me have the banners set up before that, Harry? You have to inform the executive producer of these sorts of things.
It's been literally the same goddamn format for the last 3 years. Anyways. All right. So while Eric's over there having an aneurysm, I think, let's go ahead and get into the I'm a Survivor standings. Mr. Isbell hit his 4th in a row as the Pittsburgh Steelers squeaked by the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football.
Fuck you, Randy.
Really, Geno Smith? You couldn't have held the ball on a little bit longer to give me more hopes of a tie? No wonder Cam Newton's coming in to replace your ass.
Eric ended up picking up a big win as the Rams decimated their opponent.
Hi, Glenn.
The Giants, 38-11. In fun fact, Scorigami!
The 1,067th unique score in NFL history.
Ding! Scorigami.
Doing it right.
We'll send them a shout out at Scorigami on Twitter. I picked up my 2nd win in a row as the Kansas City football team handled the Washington football team, despite a subpar performance by the Mahomes for most of that game, 31-13. Ken's, well,
I don't even remember who I picked. I think I was drunk when I sent you my picks last week, so.
I don't remember who you picked either, and it doesn't matter because they lost.
Well, who was it?
I honestly don't remember. Our list has been edited, and your pick has been deleted.
Or no, it was the Falcons. I picked the Falcons, didn't I?
Did you pick Atlanta? Maybe.
I picked Atlanta.
That would make sense. Wasn't Atlanta on a bye?
No.
You picked Miami. You picked Miami over Jacksonville.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I remember because me and Eric, because I made a catch-21 joke when you did it.
No, I thought I picked the Falcons because I picked against them the week before. No, because they did have a bye. I was going to pick them.
And then you ended up picking.
Sure.
You picked Miami, and well, you can go to the videotape. It's available on YouTube, Twitch,
fuck
and
Trevor
Facebook
Lawrence times like 20 now.
I mean, given the history and different planning of things.
Are we adding Trevor Lawrence to the fold as well now?
No, we're not adding him to the fold. That's going to be a separate situation because I've got different ideas for that one. He has a big enough house.
So no, we're going to stop talking about big things now. We're moving forward, Eric. Ken, you go first since you don't have a current standing on the board.
Thanks. Who the fuck did I pick? I can't.
You haven't picked anyone yet. There's nobody listed in the document.
I sent it to you though. I don't. Oh, you did send it. It doesn't work.
You did send it to us in the group chat. Now I'm gonna have to search for it. Eric, while we're looking for her pick, why don't you roll the Randy footage?
All right, please hold while I get that on screen for our lovely listening and viewing audience.
I found it.
Hey guys, Randy here with the best 2 minutes of the kickoff. Last week went okay in the NFL. Got my survivor pick right. Got my Are You Serious right in the NFL. We won't talk about college. Let's just bounce back. We're going to be fine. Let's focus what I've been doing on the NFL, and let's start there with my survivor pick. Listen, got the last 4. I've used up the entire AFC North. So let's move to the NFC West. Give me Arizona. As they're taking on Houston, I'll take the safe pick there, which is those are the ones that blow up in your face. But give me Arizona for my 5th straight.
Ho ho! Interesting. I like this strategy.
Is he just going to end up going division by division for the rest of the season? Because that would be pretty entertaining if he could pull that off. I'm not going to lie.
Look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ask Matamodio.
I guess. All right, Kens, you found your pick.
I'm picking the Bengals, and only reason being, one, because I want them to win, but two, I made a bet on this game as well. So I really need them to pull through. So I'm putting all of my eggs in the same basket. I put ducks in a row in the basket thing together. So
look, we here
Bengals.
at the kickoff, we are notoriously known for not giving a single duck. So we absolutely are fine with this.
Bengals.
Really? I saw what you did there, you fucker. Really? Really?
I said nothing.
Yeah, you said nothing, but I saw your lips move, damn it.
So Eric was successful last week with the Los Angeles Rams. I figure, what the fuck? Why not, right? So I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams this week as they take on the hapless and I believe the only winless team left in the NFL now.
Mm-hmm.
The 0-6 Detroit Lions.
Boy, you can't wait to see how long Dan Campbell's going to cry for at that press conference. Well, as I tip my hat to you, good sir, I'm also following a little trend of my own because Chicago is not a hell of a town. Let's face it. You got one goat coming in who just owned you. Now you're facing another. Give me the Bucks, baby.
Not gonna lie, I really hope the Bears beat their ass.
Well, as a wise man once said, you can hope in one hand and shit in another and see which one gets filled first.
I mean, it do be facts, though.
Now, one thing would to wrap this up, though, because I could not let this in good faith pass by. Oh, Miss Keneddi, a bet, you say? The squid is intrigued.
Oh,
he wants to know what the bet is.
Yeah, it's just $100 bet that the Bengals beat the Ravens. I have a friend, Joey, and he's from Buffalo with me, but he's a diehard Ravens fan, which is wildly irritating. And so we bet that the Bengals would beat the Ravens.
Damn it. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed.
Too much build-up, not enough delivery, Eric. Sounds familiar.
Well, I think we dealt with that twice already.
We do not have enough to compare you to your counterpart. You hush over there.
Look, not to mention, I mean, we all know that there's visual evidence of me in that regard, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope. This is not episode 138, although we are getting close.
Not episode 138 yet.
Yeah. We're screwed. We're going to get thrown off the air. You know how we have video on Twitch? Enjoy it while it lasts, people. You got about 6 episodes left.
Well, hey, we could pull a Chiseled Adonis and go on Pornhub. I mean, I can show everybody around, so it would be fine. Get additional exposure and whatnot.
Get exposure. Now who's bringing the puns? Go ahead. Give yourself the monkey.
Just a shame I can't spank it this time.
That's what she said, by the way. Oh, damn it. We hit that.
Let's pour one out for the homers. So my head hurts. My head hurts for a completely different reason right now. Ken will get to ours in a moment. You guys played Mississippi State this week. Bama rolled. Penn State didn't play. Do you want to share your misery first, Eric, or shall I?
I'll share my misery first because this is actually the only misery I have this week. We had a valiant comeback. We really did. We made it a game, especially those last couple of minutes. But once again, we pulled short and we're taking another L. And this time with an awkward handshake between coaches. I honestly think, as much as it pains me to say this, but with the way this season's going, well, I hadn't had a chance to update the scores.
Okay,
Unless you want me to do that on the fly.
Nope, never mind. No ticker. We're good. Ticker returns next week. Continue.
Yes. With something like this, I think Manny's days are done in Miami. It's gonna suck, and I'm really wondering where we're going to turn to for a coach now, because we're still miles off of where we were, and Les damn sure better not be walking through those doors. We have enough problems.
Wouldn't it be some shit if he shows up back at LSU?
Even with all the nearby hoodoo in New Orleans, I would not wish that on Baton Rouge fans. I'm sorry. Oh, so at least I can only be half salty this week, thankfully. Well, until Sunday, that is. Stay tuned for that. So, yeah.
21-13 at the half. 35 up after 3. We lose to LSU.
I mean,
the conversation happened in the Lilacs chat, and I'll bring it here. C-level bowl game at this point, sitting at 4-3. I'm not going to say Dan Mullen is on the hot seat, because he's not. It's not like this. It's not like this is the Ron Zook era all over again. However, if there is one thing that you are well aware of, Eric, it is that when it comes to football, especially college football in the state of Florida, expectations are high.
Through the damn roof.
And you're coming off of a SEC East championship last year and coming within the closest of anybody to Alabama last year as well, the Tide winning by 6 in the SEC title game, to losing to Kentucky and LSU, an LSU team that had just fired their head coach. I'm not going to put this one completely on Dan Mullen. You cannot turn the ball over 4 times to 0 by the Tigers and win a game. It's not going to happen. Most Power 5 conferences, if you give them a +4, they're going to win. Honestly, it's a shock we were as in the game as we were with a -4 turnover margin. However, what's the ceiling this year, Gators fans? Because after the way we played against Bama earlier in the year, we were thinking SEC East champions maybe. Now we're thinking TaxSlayer.com Bowl maybe.
Hey, I mean, it could shake off some potential ghosts coming from the upcoming cocktail party. Just saying.
In the interest of kickoff lore, and to quote the segment that used to have this position, hey, Gators, get it together.
Bitch.
All right, Eric. All right, Eric. I'll let you have the floor for your Jacksonville celebration, and then Kent and I will have our conversation about what was and what wasn't for Monday Night Football.
Let me make sure I get one name right, because I didn't beforehand. And
the kicker for the Jaguars, the one that just put Josh Lambo out of a job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I know the last name is right. I am just
Matthew.
making sure. Thank you. So, the reason why I say that, Matthew Wright, you're a hero to us.
Would that make him Mr. Wright?
Mr. Wright now.
We'll see
about Mr. Wright going forward.
At the very least. Continue.
Of course. We go in, and this time I wasn't even hoping for a tie. Who the fuck am I kidding? Yes, I was. 20-20, couple seconds left. I was actually awake for the second half of this game. Yes, they're doing the money thing. Why I was hoping for a tie, and I'm still being very, very tortured by this. But he comes up from over 50 again. Now, granted, His first 50-plus yarder was a perfect draw shot, like in golf. Going sailing about 2-3 yards right of that far upright, curling back in and tucking wonderfully in the bottom corner. You couldn't have kicked that any better under those circumstances. To come in and just drill it straight through.
Especially in a soccer stadium, no less.
Exactly, Tottenham Hotspur. But hey, as everybody knows, London is still red, so whatever. After the performance from Trevor Lawrence in that game, yes, I see with the face palm, Harry.
No, that was a head scratch, actually, just in general. Go ahead, continue.
I'll explain later. After the heroic performance of Trevor Lawrence, after we again found ourselves back against the wall because Miami's receivers decided to waddle right across the pond, my hopes were dim, as usually they are. But leave it to us to finally make our first field goal of the season. Leave it to us to finally win in our home away from home. Leave it for Urban Meyer to breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that he can't hop right over to his bar in Columbus. This is the kind of game I'm finally expecting to see. Yes, it was against a team who has now lost 5 in a row. I totally understand that. But you gotta win at least sometime, unless you're Detroit. They gotta start somewhere. How far this momentum takes us, I don't know. But now you know the locker room has got a lot of confidence. Urban said it himself. He was compared that atmosphere to national title games. So, for once, I can actually be proud of one of my teams. A rarity this season on the show.
I have big news, Eric. You're not going to lose this week either.
Because we're on a bye.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the fighting buys of Open Date University, there's another team on a bye this week as well. And let's hope that last year is an indication of this year. Hit the split screen, Eric. Executive producer magic on this show is fantastic. So there was a game last year in the desert where a certain 5'0" quarterback, I honestly don't know how to, I think he's like 5'5".
He's 5'10".
He is not 5. My ass, he's 5'10".
Yes, he is.
Anyways, I'm not saying he isn't. He sure as hell doesn't look it. Anyways, the point being,
well, real quick, I'm 5'9", so that does check out.
A certain 5 foot, I don't care. A certain 5'0" quarterback took 3 steps back and heaved one into triple coverage that DeAndre Hopkins mysteriously and magically came down with. The phrase Hail Murray was born. The Arizona Cardinals defeated the Buffalo Bills going into Buffalo's bye week.
Yep.
Buffalo would not lose another game until the AFC Championship. And that revenge has already been handed out for the regular season. Another questionable play, questionable being the operative word, because we disagree on the validity of this, and we'll talk about that in a second. As a 4th and 1 from the Tennessee 3-yard line, down by 3 in the fourth quarter with, 6 seconds left in the game, I think? Something like
that.
And Sean McDermott decides to leave the offense on the field. Josh Allen slips. Number 73 gets absolutely blown up. And Tennessee takes over. The Titans hold on for a 34-31 victory. Once again, the Bills come off a heartbreaking loss going into their bye week. We can talk about history, and those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. But if we're doomed to repeat this history, I'd be pretty happy because 15-2 looks really nice.
Sure does.
That being said, let's first talk about the decision, Ken. I talked about the fact that I was tempted to have a whiteboard behind me. And my whiteboard would say, kick the goddamn field goal. At home, you go for the win with an audience in your favor. On the road, in that spot, you play for overtime. I disagree with McDermott's call.
As it was happening, I did as a fan, thinking and understanding now after sitting on it for a couple days, I understand why he made the call he made, and I'm not mad at it. I mean, it sucks. A loss is a loss. Like, we lost, but I'm not mad at it. It's risk of injury. It's just putting your defense, who was dropping the ball the last quarter anyways, in a position to get fucking smacked all over again by their offense. It wasn't worth it. If you're gonna go for the win. Overtime wasn't necessary. We're a Super Bowl caliber team. We know that.
Here's the reason I say you kick the field goal there, though, because you call the coin toss in overtime. You win the coin toss. Your explosive offense is right back out on the field with a chance to win the game. I'm not disagreeing that it's an if, but at the same time,
that's a big if to put your defense through.
It sure as fuck beats getting your O-line blown up the way they were blown up, and Allen tackled at the knees after slipping.
Okay, so Allen got tackled or got sacked 3-4 times. So you're gonna put your trust in your offense. You're gonna put the trust in the O-line more than you would your defense anyways when both of them were slipping up. I think it was a lose-lose either way. Like, I had the faith in Josh Allen to drive it down the field. I didn't have the faith in our O-line on that game to not let Josh Allen get fucked in overtime. And I didn't have faith in our defensive line at all to be able to stop them from scoring. So I think going for it, we're going to go to playoffs. There's no one in the East that's going to take our spot. We're going to the playoffs regardless. We're a Super Bowl caliber team. Don't sit there and let your team get used up more in overtime when it's not needed. It's an L. It's the beginning of the season. It's not that big of a deal.
I don't like having our bye week this early in the season, week 7.
That also sucks.
However, you know what sucks worse? And then we'll get back to your regularly scheduled podcast because we do have one more segment to finish off here. You know what sucks worse? Would somebody like to politely explain to me how Andre Smith still has a job today?
I'm mad at him. But then there was what happened to Poyer. Oh, I want to touch on Micah Hyde in a second too. The grab and ground with Poyer when Henry hit his 76-yard breakaway I think there was multiple holding, but that's just me. But I want to talk about Micah Hyde real quick, and if I could pick a stud, I was going to say it was Knox, but I redact. I would give it to Micah Hyde. I will never forget this poor man, and I know his life flashed before his eyes. Henry almost had another breakaway, and Hyde just did this and let Henry just right into him. I don't know if you remember that part of the game or not, but I watched that happen. And
I don't think Micah Hyde remembers it at this point.
Micah Hyde, I was like, that's a man. That's a fucking man. Like, he just jumped in front of Henry and just ate it. I love our defense.
Meanwhile, Josh Norman's having flashbacks to what happened last season on Tuesday night.
Man, leave that man alone. And I'm pissed. You know who I love on our team that is really severely underrated? Kumaro. I wish he would have caught that pass because that would just – I loved him since that one little touchdown he got last season. I was like, he's going to be one of our guys.
The Bills are on their bye week here, like we talked about. It is a week 7 bye, which I do not appreciate. But we do have the same record after 6 games that we had last season at 4-2. The Bills proceeded to go 9-1 over their last 10, with the only loss being the aforementioned Hail Murray. Realistic expectations here, Tens. What's the final record, do you think?
Oh, my numbers are all messed up because of the extra week now.
I'm going to say 12-5.
It is 17. Okay, I didn't want to fuck up because I couldn't remember.
17 games. 17 games. Possibly 18 as soon as 2022, according to the rumors.
I can't remember our full schedule and who we have left. 12-5 doesn't sound wrong, but I know there's a game later in the season. I can't remember who it is. Where I'm very much on that's either going to be hit or super miss, and I can't remember who we're playing. Because the
Tampa
rest of
Bay.
our schedule, probably that one. Because the rest of our schedule is, I want to say, fairly easy.
We
I
still have
don't
a
think
couple
it's a
different.
crazy hard schedule.
We still have a couple difficult games coming up. I know we still play Baltimore later this season as well because both of us won our
Maybe
respective.
that's the one I was thinking of.
We play Baltimore later this year because we both won our respective divisions. Our NFC East crossover is Washington, which I'm really not super worried about, especially because they can't figure out who their quarterback is. And if it's Tua, well, we've already knocked his ass out of a game this season. Speaking of which, we do get the Dolphins when we come back to action on Halloween night.
We don't play Washington again.
We played Washington earlier this year. That was our NFC.
Okay, that's what you're talking. Okay,
That was
sorry.
our
I thought
NFC.
you were saying that again.
No, the division we play is the NFC South. We have a crossover game with the NFC East.
Yes.
And that was Washington.
Bucks.
Ravens.
And they're literally
Somehow
we don't play the Ravens.
we have to play the Ravens.
We don't. Dolphins, Jags, Jets, Colts, Saints,
Eric.
Pats, Bucks, Panthers, Patriots, Falcons, Jets.
Eric, chime in here. Did Pittsburgh win the North last year? Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
Wait.
must have won the North because we already
Yeah.
played Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh hosted Cleveland in that wild card
Because they had
game.
already clinched the division. That's right, when they sat everybody on week 17.
Yeah, because
I
remember
was
they
like, there's
started
only-
11-0 and then
I thought Baltimore won the
Mm-mm.
division, but no, it
No,
was Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh
Okay.
did. Mhm.
Okay, I got a
That's
little
why I was
confused.
like, I'm pretty sure there was only one game I was legitimately worried about, and it was the Bucks game. Besides
All right.
that, Jets, Falcons, Pats, Panthers.
Okay, but here's the thing: Bills being Bills, we're going to lose at least one. We shouldn't. I mean,
Saints. The Saints game, I feel.
is it because of Taysom Hill and his golden ass?
Yes.
Look, first of all, we're glad that you can display your tongue game, but again, I still have a lot of work to do to keep that plan alive, okay? Things like this take time.
Eric, are you serious?
Yes,
No.
I am with that. Oh, wait, that are you
No,
serious?
I meant, are you serious? Ow. Okay, yeah, the high pitch isn't for me right now. Sorry. Ow.
Now,
Updated standings. Ken's is somehow 7-5 straight up. I'm not sure what kind of voodoo she's working over there.
she's our version of Jim Leland. Remember when Jim Leland, he went and he managed the Detroit Tigers. In his introductory press conference, he said, look, this is going to take me time. I don't know shit about your league. I'm sorry. I've always been a National League guy. What the fuck does he do? He takes the Tigers to the World Series.
And
This is what's going on right now. This is a thing. This is what's happening.
so what you're telling me is we're getting worked.
You damn right we are.
Okay. Ken's has 7 wins straight up. Eric, Randy, and I each have 3. However, the against the spread standings are significantly closer. Ken's is up by a half a game on yours truly. You're 7-5. I'm 6-5-1. Eric is creeper, no creeping right behind us at 6-6. Randy's 4-7-1.
Eric.
Look, normally in any other year, I would be trolling in the cellar, doing my thing in the basement.
Normally in any other year, you'd be in Randy's spot right now. Yes, I'm very well aware.
Exactly.
Although 4 might be a little high this early in the season for you, if history has taught us anything.
I'm lucky if I've got about 2 or 3 at this point. So
it do be facts though. All right. So rather than try to time this with Randy's predictions, we'll just let his picks for Are You Serious play, and then we'll get into ours.
But before we do,
yes, of course,
due diligence. Now, granted, if you happen to be following along and playing along with our picks, first of all, aside from Randy, you should be making some good coin. But more importantly, Please remember, respect all terms and conditions of whatever site you use. Be sure to gamble responsibly. Respect all state laws. 21 means 21. And if you know somebody who has a problem, get help. However, if you abide by all those things, always be sure to bet on Bovada. They've got all kinds of specials, some very good parlay bets that I happen to be a part of, and they happen to have a lot of different sports. The ICC T20 Men's World Cup is going on. If you love some cricket, they've got some bets there too. Plus, if you happen to be a hodler, doing and dealing in crypto, hey, you make deposit in Bitcoin, they will hook you up with some extra specials. Again, hashtag bet on Bovada. I saw what you did there again.
Is he sponsored by Bovada now? And if he is, are we getting cut in on this?
Hey. What do we always say?
We can't be bought.
But we can damn sure be rented. And again, if Bovada happens to be listening to this, if they do...
Oh, Eric, you missed the softball. Eric completely missed the softball. I caught it, Ken. Eric completely missed it. You said we can damn sure be rented. Ken looks at both of us in mouth. I can be bought.
Granted, if I can work
Family show.
I
Nipping that one in the bud right now. Play Randy's picks.
$20 is $20, man.
God damn it.
Well, I mean, if your rates are that low, I mean, I can hook
Play
you up
Randy's picks. Volume warning to our headphones listeners there. Sorry.
As far as my Are You Serious picks on the NFL, how about the Kansas City, Tennessee game? Derrick Henry already has 783 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns on the year. In fact, he has scored 3 touchdowns in 3 separate games this year. Kansas City giving up 133.2 yards per game on the ground, 6th most in the league. Kansas City also with a -8 in the turnover ratio. 2nd worst in the league, just ahead of Eric's Jacksonville Jaguars. So give me Tennessee at home and give me the 5.5. As far as college goes, I don't know what I'm missing here. Oklahoma State is undefeated on the season and ranked 8th in the country. Iowa State's had a down year. Everyone had these high expectations, and they lose a tough one to Iowa. They lose to Baylor. Now they're 4-2 on the season. Yet Oklahoma State at home is getting 7 points. Now, yes, it smells like a trap, and when it's a trap, usually Vegas knows more than me, but I'm going to take the bait. Oklahoma State has won the last 2 meetings and 8 of the last 9, and since 2015, all 6 meetings have been decided by 7 or less. So give me the 7 points and the team that has been performing much better. That's it for me. My name is Randy Isbell, a.k.a. The Riz, a.k.a. Rancid Randy, a.k.a. The Man with the surprising face. You guys have a good show, and I will see you next week.
I'm glad he got the rancid part in there.
The R&R Sports Report is available on klcz.com, 88.9 FM in the Clarkston, Louisville area. Lewiston, Clarksville area.
Yep. Lewiston, Idaho, and Clarkston, Washington, if you're in the local area.
They're both Stins? I didn't know they were both. I thought one of them was a Ville.
No, they're both Stin.
Oh,
Lewiston, Clarkston.
Good to know. That would be from, what would that be? From 6 to 8 local time? It's 9 to 11 Eastern?
Correct. 9 to 11 Eastern, 6 to 8 Pacific, 4 to 6 Hawaiian.
Or you could just watch them on the R&R Sports Report page over on Facebook as well.
And on YouTube as well, if you don't happen to catch them on Facebook Live.
All right, so that's Randy's picks. He's got Tennessee plus 5.5 against Kansas City. And then the trap game, in my opinion, I stayed as far away from this one as humanly possible, as he has number 8 Oklahoma State at home, on the road. Sorry. Number 8 Oklahoma State on the road against Iowa State, getting 7. He's picking a ranked team over an unranked team, but the number is within the number that it has to be for him to be able to pick them. Kens, you've got the largest number of this week's picks for college, so why don't you go ahead and go first?
I'm taking South Carolina over A&M.
Is there a little bit of bitterness involved in this pick? I have to ask.
Absolutely not. None. Zero.
She's a liar who lies.
And then, are we just doing college first?
Yeah, we're doing college first. She's got South Carolina getting 3 touchdowns at A&M, going to College Station. Yeah, 3 touchdowns isn't enough for the South Carolina team. They barely beat Vanderbilt.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you got to give a team some credit that can win with a graduate assistant coach starting a quarterback at the beginning of the season.
And if you're interested in more information about Vanderbilt, make sure you guys check out the Bottom 10 by Ryan McGee over on ESPN.com.
Link will be in the description with apologies to Steve Harvey.
And Ryan McGee for stealing his shtick. Eric?
So, I mentioned this. I'm also staying in the SEC. You know how I am about lame duck coaches. You know how batshit crazy things get, especially this year. You know how we feel about the lane train. You see where I'm going with this one?
I do, but tell everybody at home.
Give me, with the man on the bayou saying goodbye, go Tigers, LSU plus 9.5 at number 12, Ole Miss.
I almost picked that game.
There's going to be more fireworks, and at a minimum, I think they're going to play out the rest of this string to send out Coach Owen Winter. Because, hey, who loves a good O every now and then? Everybody.
Everybody.
Full screen, please.
Oh, Randy. For those who are in audio,
Yeah,
let everybody in.
I was getting there. That is a specialty video format on an audio podcast. Hey, I made it work. All right, anyways, go ahead. Bring us back. I have a Facebook message from Messenger from Randy Isbell, who said, "Were you watching the R&R Sports Report because you stole my college pick?" The answer to his question is no, I was not. I was watching NXT like any self-respecting wrestling fan would be. But I am taking the Charlotte 49ers plus 7 against Lane Kiffin's old team, the Florida Atlantic Owls.
Now, speaking of things in wavelength, we've got John, who's on Life is Like a Game Show with us. Yes, Randy is rancid indeed. And who else does he happen to agree with picks? He is putting his neck out, and with mine, as soon as I announced my pick, yeah, getting out of your head, a wrong podcast for the wavelength. Oh no, if I got someone like Harry living in mine, I got a vacation in someone else's. That's that. This is how it works.
I'm surprised I haven't been charged rent yet, if I'm being honest. All right.
I've been trying to, but you keep ducking around whenever I send you the bill. At least you keep things neat up there.
Let's switch over to the National Football League. With all apologies to Chris Berman, I can't do the voice right now. Although you can watch Chris Berman and Booger McFarland now. It just doesn't feel the same. Bring back Tom Jackson.
Or at least have him do it in the Booker-mobile around the studio.
No, hell no. That motherfucker ruined Monday Night Football. Fuck him.
He didn't, but the Booker-mobile didn't.
Worst Monday Night Football team ever.
You know what? I really can't dispute that. And I'm someone who also remembers the Dennis Miller days, which I honestly appreciated in some form. Maybe that's just me.
There was a highest common denominator to Dennis Miller's shtick on Monday Night Football that the intelligent among us could appreciate. I mean, in fairness, there were more than our fair share of people who were looking at Dennis Miller and going, "Durr!"
Hey, I don't want to get on a rant here, but I'll save that for another show.
All right, let's move forward here over to the National Football League. Kens, what do you got?
I was going to pick the Chiefs game, but I'm taking the Seahawks over the Saints.
Seattle is +5 currently on ESPN. ESPN.com/NFL/scoreboard. You can go there and check the current lines for yourself. Just as a heads up, the finalized lines that you will see us use as a tiebreaker later on in the season, if necessary, go off of the final line for the game, not the line at which we pick. It's cost me already this year.
Can't you just push that one out of your mind just once?
At least I have a tie on my record, Eric. That's right. That's right. Talk shit, get hit.
Loser.
So Ken's is rocking with the Seahawks. Randy can't stay in the NFC North, in the AFC North. I just did it again. And completely unintentionally. Randy can't stay in the AFC North this week. However, Eric, you can.
Indeed.
In a serious manner.
Indeed, I can. Since someone here looking and thinking and looking like she's somebody that, you know what? Well, no, I was going to say it's best if I don't finish that sentence because I've already said too much. This time we happen to be on the same side of things.
I think it's scarier when Eric uses discretion than when he doesn't. Continue.
You see? Again, you know where my head was at. We happen to be on the same side this week. You like Cincinnati as your survivor pick? And it's funny because I'm taking those very same Bengals, Joe Burrow and all, +6 on the road against the Ravens. I really think, again, with the right amount of firepower,
well,
they can figure out defensively what Baltimore's doing with the rushing attack. I like their chances.
Well, Ken, you better hope he loses his college pick because if history has taught us anything, 500 is about as good as he gets on these picks. I'm just saying. You look at me like I'm lying, Eric.
No. It's sadly, it's facts. It's facts.
What's the old phrase? If I'm lying, I'm frying and I ain't dead yet.
Well, I have more faith in Cincinnati than I do LSU, so.
That's fair. All right. I'm going to go with a team that actually helped me pick up a week 1 Are You Serious victory. I did not see what JTN posted there. Pull that back up.
Yep. Taking the last team Belichick coached against his current team. Morally obligated to say Jets are better than Pats.
Oh, you're adorable, Jonathan.
Well, I mean, look.
Stupid.
That's a delusional Jets fan is what that is.
There's 2 of them we talked to? Good Lord.
I know. And you know what the worst thing is they let these people reproduce too. Anyways. I'm going with a team that actually helped me pick up a week 1 Are You Serious victory, and I'm hoping that they can do the same this week. As it is, excuse me, I had to get back up to the pick here. We've talked about the AFC West before on the show this year. We talked about the Paper Tiger Broncos. Let's talk about the coaching change out in Las Vegas and the fact that they somehow managed to pull it all together and beat said Paper Tiger Broncos. But this week they play an actual football team in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Really? Really? Really?
I am taking the Eagles +3 at Vegas.
I'm sorry, did you just sit here and call the Philadelphia Eagles an actual football team? I heard that correctly, Kens, did I not?
Compared to the Broncos?
Fuck you, really? Really? Really?
Don't you Mazan me.
Really?
Remember Remember to vote for Miz on Dancing with the Stars, people. I'm not watching that horse shit, but vote for Miz anyway.
Well, come on. You don't want to see them compete for the crystal ball?
No, not at
Fair
all.
enough.
Not in this. And I guarantee you on the next Life is Like a Game Show tournament, Randy's going to try to include it.
Oh, he better fucking not, man. I will have so many words. So many words.
It's
And
time.
yes, John, that was for you because you mentioned the lilac segue. Oh, boy, we're going to have fun with that going with a perfect 21.
All right,
let's come back to bite me.
Let's go ahead and finish things off for the week, Eric. It's time for Dick of the Week. You know what? I have 2 words. Andre Smith.
Fuck you. Shit.
Eric, you watched Monday Night Football, did you not?
I did, yes.
For those of you who didn't and are wondering why Ken's and I are telling Andre Smith to go forth and fornicate with himself, Isaiah McKenzie broke a kickoff 101 yards. Untouched.
It was a thing of beauty, no lie.
Or it would have been had Andre Smith not decided to hold on to a defender who was nowhere near McKenzie. Kick called back, drive stalls, aforementioned play call at the 3, Bills lose. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
And especially with that, you wouldn't have had enough time even for, Henry himself to break another one off on you. That was just a damn shame. I was rooting for you guys.
Ken's seconded.
Kind of. Same, but Bills D-line as a whole.
I mean, O-line while we're at it, Allen got roughed up in that game.
Bills, besides our wide tight ends quarterback and Micah Hyde. Bills besides them.
He gets a special exemption. Guys, it's your bye week.
Death in the face. He stared death in the face.
Somewhere there. I feel like there's like a place. It's like in a really scenic valley, home for Derrick Henry victims.
Micah Hyde was not one. He wasn't a victim though. He stood like when I tell you, he just like he got laid out because it's Derrick Henry. But
no. You say leave Josh Norman alone. Do you have any idea how many? But do you know how many times I have suffered having to sit and watch repeatedly that 99-yard touchdown run and how I'm reminded of it every fuck. Yet you want to leave him alone. I would eat him too if it brought me pleasure.
Family show, kind of, sort of.
Well, look, I mean, we're already in the mood with finishing things off with the Dick of the Week, okay? Do you really expect anything else?
It is the big finish, I suppose. Go ahead, Eric. Who's your Dick of the Week?
I mean, honestly, even though the Jaguars won, it's still got to be Mark Lamping because, again, Shad Khan now getting into his whole mood, trying to still control what's going on with the team, and we were talking about this. When Urban Meyer decides to go, especially because of family reasons, Squidspiracy much, but I'm right. Who's going to come in and take over, especially when you're going ahead and trying to go ahead and cup everybody's balls?
Let's finger the lady in the bar guy, right? Yeah. Gross.
Look.
Sorry.
Nope. Kibosh. Instant kibosh. Especially with what's about to happen next. Eric, pull the graphic. On a serious note, on behalf of us here at the Kickoff, you guys may have heard about the military helicopter crash that took the life of several members of the U.S. Naval Force. Several of those members' bodies have been recovered and are on their way home to their families for a proper burial. I stand with Miss Ken's I stand with Eric, and I stand with myself when I say, gentlemen, thank you for your service. We send our best to the families, and we are happy that they are finally able to have some closure on what is a tragic situation. Kens, bring them home. You have been listening to The Kickoff, a presentation of the W2M Network online at W2Mnet.com. In addition, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast listening services: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, CastBox. Hey, cats, guess what?
Spotify is here.
She nailed it! In addition, you can find us in video format on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, as well as on the Twitter page at W2Mnet as well.
W2M Network. Yep.
All right. Kens, where can people find you online? I'm so excited she nailed it this week. I'm so proud of her.
Yes, yes, John. She got it before you did. I told you this is how it works. Pay attention. Learn from the best.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all Ken_eds or eds_Ken.
Eric, where can people find you online? And remember, keep in mind what we just did right before these plugs.
At Squid Sports Head on Twitter. You can find me also on Facebook. Look under Eric Watkins. You know the drill. Guy, recliner, wine. And out of all due respect, slide into my DMs at Squid Sports Head. You know what to do from there.
I'm at HEB the Eagle everywhere. Honestly, this last bit isn't about me. Once again, we say thank you for your service in honoring those lost. This has been The Kickoff, a presentation of the W2M Network.